Alameda Point is the name that we use for the former Naval Air Station. It's about 2,000 acres. It was a Navy station that played a very prominent role in World War II. But ultimately was no longer needed as a Navy base and was closed in 1997. The base that the city controls is about 900 acres, and we have divided that into sub-areas and sub-districts because it's such a big piece of property. And one of those is the Main Street neighborhood, which was traditionally a residential neighborhood as part of the Navy base. And we are working now on a very extensive planning process called the Specific Plan to really put into place what's the vision for this neighborhood. We're working closely with the Alameda Point Collaborative, Building Futures, Operation Dignity to come up with a vision for that Main Street neighborhood.
The Alameda Point Collaborative was created in 1999 as a regional attempt to help end homelessness. Our mission and our philosophy is to use all the resources we can to create a community where formerly homeless families can thrive and gain self-sufficiency. We have over 500 residents living out here, including almost 300 children and youth, 18 and under. You know, I like to tell people that we've built a pretty amazing community with really horrible housing.
Some of the challenges is the litter and the dilapidated apartments. They're an eyesore. You know, they make the place really look like a dang ghetto. And they're dangerous. The kids ride around on their bikes, they're curious, they're going in and they're hazardous. Them walls could just cave in, you know.
And we could do so much more with accessible housing, energy efficient housing, housing that's built to create a neighborhood, and housing that's close to services. We're very fortunate that there are 3 organizations working out here. We each have a particular focus and expertise.
There was no place for homeless veterans to go in Alameda County. I was actually the first to start any kind of program, and for the first several years we did it, one veteran helping another veteran. That was kind of our philosophy at the time. We're like the Alamo. We're the last group standing that's going to fight for everything that the homeless or low-income families get out here.
About a year or so ago, I started having some issues that caused me to not be able to work. Went into the hospital and found myself homeless when I got out. And thanks to Operation Dignity, I was able to find my way back again. That allowed me to see a brighter future.
Building Futures with Women and Children is a 27-year-old agency whose mission is to end homelessness and domestic violence in the lives of the women and children we serve. And I think what's exciting about this new vision is really thinking about how do we integrate the 3 agencies? How do we share services or share facilities? It gives us a real opportunity to leverage what we have in one agency with 2 other agencies.
Prior to coming to Alameda, I was staying in Berkeley in transitional housing for 2 years. And prior to that, I was a couple of years on the street living in abandoned buildings and storefronts and, you know, schools and wherever I can lay my hat.
Before here, you know, we were in a couple of family shelters, and so we were really glad to get somewhere stable. But I think what's important is that our voices are heard.
I've been a resident at APC for 4 years. The group I worked with, our headline was Cohesive Neighborhoods Built Around Community Open Spaces.
Safety, you know, for our children and ourselves. Somebody walking the grounds, possibly more at night than during the day.
Okay, so right here we were talking about, because we have a lot of people who have illnesses, terminally ill, and also older generation.
If you have a beautiful community, you more likely to walk around it rather than drive, and so you feel more comfortable walking it. It feels safer.
Resident involvement is very important to APC. It's a core value of our mission. We have residents that serve on our board of directors. We have residents that are on staff. We were really fortunate to find a partner like Midpen.
Hush, little darling, don't say a word. I'm gonna buy you a mockingbird.
One of the things that really impressed me is the level of engagement they're going to with the residents.
We tasked our residents with coming up with how they would compose an ideal neighborhood. So they needed to lay down the streets and configure some buildings and talk to us about where they wanted to put amenities.
MidPenn's mission is to not only build housing, but to build communities where families can really thrive. There's so much opportunity here to be able to build housing that is going to be here for the long term, that's high quality, that has amenities that the residents need, that can really help them move forward.
Our plan is to really take that input and those thoughts and then integrate it into the larger plan for the neighborhood. And then ultimately get that vision approved by the city council so that we can move towards implementing and constructing new facilities.
We have a really unique opportunity to design the new housing, to design the new community with input from the residents that will live there, and hear what's important to them, and hear what needs they have, so that we're able to design a community that's really probably going to be one of the most effective housing programs in ending homelessness that exists.
Yes, and I know